Hey guys, today we are going to start talking about how we can use our angle relationships to solve problems. So we are on pages 5 and 6 to do 4 problems, and then you guys are going to do a little bit of delta math. So far we have been talking about 7th grade angle relationships. So we have complementary angles, we have supplementary angles, and we have vertical angles, and we have adjacent. Okay. So the first thing I always have to ask myself is, what are the relationship? When I look at a problem, what is the relationship? And then I have to ask myself, well, what is the importance? So I know complementary angles, I'm looking for a right angle, okay? Because if I can see a box or if I can see a right angle, I know it's complementary, and I also know that it'll equal 90. So I am always looking for, is it complementary? Do I see a right angle? And the importance of knowing that relationship is that it will be equal to 90 degrees, okay? Then we have supplementary. Okay, when I think about what I'm looking for a supplementary angle, I'm looking for straight lines. So a straight line right here where we have this little angle along with this bigger angle. Okay, and when we see straight lines, that's what we're looking for. The mathematical importance is that it would equal 180 degrees. Okay, and then we started talking about adjacent and vertical. So first we have vertical. Okay, that's when we have two lines that are intersecting. And we have vertical when I like to think of like opposite angles that are across from each other. And the mathematical importance is that they are equal. And then finally, adjacent angles just mean right next to. It's nice to know adjacent angles, but there is no math importance really. So we're really just focusing on, can we understand what complementary means, what supplementary means, and what vertical means? Okay, so we're gonna do a couple problems. The complement of an angle is 3 times the measurement of the angle x. Find the measurement of the angle and its complement. Okay, so right here, I see this word right here, okay? I see the word complement. And if I look and I understand what complement means angles that add up to 90. So we're talking about a 90-degree angle, okay? For those that are those visual people, okay, I'm gonna draw a 90-degree angle, okay? And I'm gonna draw 2 different angles. Now these are not drawn to scale, but it's just a good reference. So the complement, or what makes it 90 degrees of one angle, is 3 times the measurement of the angle. So what this means is we have this little angle right here, okay? Its complement, or what makes it 90 degrees, is 3 more than that as well, okay? So I know we have a 90-degree angle, and I know I have an angle, and I have another angle that makes 90 degrees by it being 3 more, okay? What I need to do is I need to find the measurements of them. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write an equation, okay? Because it says complement, I know that the answer is gonna be 90, okay? And then we're talking about angles, so we're putting multiple angles together. So we have this first angle, x, right here, okay? And its complement, or when we put another angle with it, that means we need to add, okay? 3 times the measurement of that angle, 3x, has to equal 90. So the hardest part will be writing the equations. So our equation is this angle plus 3 times that angle has to equal a 90-degree angle. So then after we write it, now we are going to solve it. So I'm going to combine like terms because these are on the same side of the equal sign. I get 4x's equaling 90. Okay, well, I don't want 4x's, I want 1x. So I'm going to divide by 4. Okay, and I am going to get 90 divided by 4, which is 22.5. Okay. Now, x does equal 22.5, but we have to make sure we answer the right question. Find the measurement of each angle. So we know that this little angle is 22.5 degrees, okay? It's also asking what's the other angle. So if I know that x is 22.5, the other one is 3x's, or 3 times 22.5, which would be 67.5 degrees. Okay, so after I find my answer for x, I'm putting back into the problem to make sure that it makes sense. And I just like to check and see, do those add up to 90? Yeah, oh my gosh, we're right. Okay. Number 2, we have 4 rays that meet at a common endpoint. So rays are just like parts of a line, like half of a line. So here's our endpoint, and we have 4 lines shooting off from there. Write and solve an equation to find the value of x. Then determine all of the angle measures. Okay, again, with angle measures, there's a lot of different ways we could do this. So first, what I like to do is I like to talk about what I know. Okay, I know that this angle right here, okay, I'm going to kind of draw okay, I know that this angle right here we're calling W, and we know that that is 36 degrees. Okay, we know right here we see a box, and if we know a box, we know that that has to be a right angle, which is 90 degrees. Okay, this angle right here for Y, we do not know exactly what it is, but we're going to represent it by 7 x's. Okay, and then angle U, again, we don't know how big this angle is. It's not as big as Y, but it's 2 x's. Okay. Now, the only other thing we can think of really is we know that this is 90, okay? We know that this is 36, but we really don't know anything else besides that, okay? So I know also that all together, all the way around, that should equal 360 degrees, okay? So what it's wanting us to do is it wants us to find the value of x, and then it wants us to figure out what the actual measurements are. So it's asking us to do 2 different things. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to write an equation. My total, because I don't know really a whole lot, all I know is that the total has to be 360. Okay, I know that these 2 angles, I know them for sure. I know we have 36 degrees and we have a right angle of 90 degrees. Okay, but then we also have these things that we don't know. We have 2 x's being represented by U, and we have 7 x's being represented by Y. Okay, so my equation, again, this will be the hardest part, is 36 plus 90 plus 2x plus 7x equals the 360 the entire way around. So now I'm just going to combine like terms. Again, these are regular numbers that we can put together and get 126. Then we have 2x and 7x, which would make 9x, and that equals 360. Now our goal is to find out what x equals. So we have this 9 and we have this 126. So first we're going to move the 126. Again, this is a positive, so we'll move it with a negative. Okay, that would make a 0. And now we just have 9 x's equal to 360 minus 126, which is 234. Okay, so we know that just taking out these known angles in the problem from 360, we have 9 x's left over, and that's equal to 234. Well, I don't really care about 9 x's. I want 1 x. So I'm going to take 234 and cut it into 9s. Okay, and I get x equaling 26. Okay, now we're about 80% of the way done. We have figured out that x is 26, but we still also need to figure out what the angle measures are. So I know that this right here is 2 x's, or 2 26's, because we found that out, which would be 52 degrees. Okay, and then I know that this amount is 7 x's, so 7 26's would be 182. Okay, I can also just check to make sure if I have 36 plus 90 plus 52 plus 182, I know that that would make 10. That would make 26, and that would equal 360 degrees. So I know I have it right because altogether that would add up to 360 degrees. All right, on to the next page. Number 3, it says write and solve an equation to find the measure of angle x. Okay, so we look at this picture. Okay, we have angle A, we have angle C, and we have angle B. So I'm going to again draw the picture just to kind of get the missing stuff out of the way. Okay, I know that angle C is 140. Okay, Angle A, I see a box, so I'm going to assume it's 90 degrees. Okay. And the only other thing I don't know is this missing angle, angle B, and it's being represented just by X. Okay. All right. I don't really see any relationships. I don't really see a full straight line. I know that this is a 90-degree angle, but that's not very helpful right now. So I know that all the way around, at least I can know that that's 360 degrees. Okay. What I need to know is the measure of angle X. Okay, how many degrees is that? That is my goal. So I'm going to go ahead and write an equation. Okay, I know that angle C is 140. Okay, I know that angle A is the right angle, so I know that's 90. And I don't know angle B, so we're representing that with X right now. Okay? But I do know that the total all the way around has to be 360 degrees. So my equation is 140 plus 90 plus X equals 360. Now I'm just going to solve this equation. I'm going to combine like terms. So we have 140 and 90 being 230. Okay. So basically this right here is 230. Now I want to know what the missing angle is. So I'm going to take that out of the 360. And that would be 130. So X equals 130. So my missing angle, so angle B, will equal 130 degrees. Again, you can always self-check. If you have a 90-degree angle with 140 and the 130 that we just came up with, we would add that together and we would get 360 degrees. So we know that we are right. All right, the last problem is line K and line J meet and form vertical angles. Write and solve an equation to determine the measure of these angles. So we have two lines that cross, and they're saying that we have vertical angles right here and right here. Okay, so really always what I ask myself is, do we know what the relationship is? So we know that they're vertical angles, they tell us that. Okay, but what does that mean? So we can go back to what we were talking about before. Vertical angles mean that they have to be the same angle measure. They have to be equal to each other, which means we know that they have to be equal. Okay, so it says write and solve an equation to determine the measures of the angles. So what I'm trying to figure out is how big they are. What is the measure? Okay. So this is probably something we haven't done before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the measure of this angle. So this angle is 2x's plus 20. Okay, that means it has to be the same exact thing right here. So this also has to be 2x plus 20. So these have to be equal to each other. So I'm going to write equal to, and I'm going to write the other angle measure to show that these are the exact same. They are congruent, which means we can write this angle has to be the same as this angle. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to solve this equation. Now this is something we haven't done in a couple months. Okay, we have x's on both sides. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to move our x's. So I'm going to subtract 2x's. Okay, 2x minus 2x does make the 0, which is what we wanted. Okay, and then we have 4x minus 2x, which would be 2x's. Now keep in mind that our x now is over here. So I'm not trying to move the 20, I'm trying to move the 2. And I will divide those two x's and I will get 10. Okay, so we know that x is 10. Now just to make sure that this makes sense, let's plug in our answer into here because these should get us the same thing. So if we think that x is 10, if we have 4 x's, that means that would be 4 10s, which would be equal to 40. Okay? If we are right, we should also get 40 over here. So we're going to check. So 2x plus 20, that means we would have 2 10s plus 20. 2 10s would make 20, and 20 plus 20 is 40. So it looks like both of these are 40 degrees. Okay, so for today, guys, we are just going to practice writing equations, looking at relationships, and then writing equations and solving them. In our Delta Math, it could just have us tell us what x is equal to, or it could say something like, what is the measure of them? and you would have to use your answer for X and plug it back into the math problem to make sure you actually know how big it is. So this is a 40-degree angle.